What's up?
Moore. Yeah, this morning. How you doing? We've asked you earlier about the continuity you've had in your offensive line. Now you're in a position of losing Terrence and getting Tyron back. Just working through that at this stage of the season, is that, I assume that's not optimal? You can do it, but it's not optimal.
Not optimal, but something that seems to steer our way a little bit lately. And so I think certainly our guys are comfortable making these adjustments. And so, fortunately for us, we have a number of guys who've played throughout this season in different roles. And so we'll be able to kind of, keep building on that. And, Tyron, as he's building back into his aspect of this thing, he had a nice week last week, and we'll see where this week goes.
And especially a right tackle, if you do have some sort of rotation at some part, whatever the breakdown is, how does that impact you as a play caller and what you're aware of and how the situations you go about it?
Yeah, we'll obviously have some awareness, depending on how this thing ends up going. It's something that will take probably the whole week just to let it play itself out with those variables, and then be aware of it as the game goes on. But I thought, this game, when Terrence went down, I thought Josh did a nice job. Obviously had two unfortunate plays at the end, and then we, in the two-minute drive, we looked to go with Jason, and, credit to him being the special veteran that he is, ability to go out there and do just a tremendous job at right tackle in that two-minute drill.
Clarence, telling us, speaking of Jason Peters, do you know enough about him? Can his body at this age handle 60 plays a game for back-to-back weeks?
I think that's a great question. I think obviously, I think he's built on himself each and every week for the most part. And I think the last couple weeks we've tried to get him into the rotation so that in the event that things happen like this, it isn't foreign to him as far as playing a higher number of reps. And so I think he got, I don't have the exact number, 28 maybe this week. And so I think that's a number that's good, and we'll see how much more we can go from there and just continue to build it. But we know other guys will play as well probably, and we'll just see where it takes us.
Is that part of the conversation of why you may split the role, just because you don't really know what the threshold is, how much you can take at this point?
I think certainly that's part of the discussion. Jason will battle and do everything he possibly can, and if you ask him to try and go for it all, he'll give it all, and that's the special thing about him. He's obviously done a tremendous job for us through this thing, and we just want to make sure those other guys are available because it's a marathon of an NFL season. A lot of guys are going to be called upon to play different roles.
Todd Arch with ESPN. Tyron played right tackle his rookie year. Would he possibly be an option?
I think we're really just trying to see where he's at as he's coming back to his availability. I think Josh has played a ton of snaps over there. That's really been pretty much his role since he got here in training camp, and certainly Jason's it was special to see him hop over there. I can't even tell you the last time he played over there, and so both those guys did a really nice job over there.
Calvin Watkins, Gospel News, getting a veteran receiver in Hilton. What does he bring to your group right now?
Yeah, tremendous depth. I mean, to sign a guy like T.Y. In December and provide the depth that you need in a receiver room, and obviously things happen throughout the season, and provide the depth there. We feel very fortunate to have the guys that we have, with CD, Michael, Noah, James, now T.Y., Jalen, and so we're probably in a really, really good spot just moving forward.
Has Tolbert not progressed as quickly as you would hope? I know you had some health issues and some other things going on early, but
no, he's done a nice job. I think obviously as seasons go and rolls, other guys just happen to have more opportunities, and we're not down on Jalen. We're excited about Jalen. He's going to be a really good receiver for us, and different opportunities present themselves, and he'll be ready. He'll be available, and he's done a really good job for us as he's continued to build himself as a player.
What did you see from T.Y. in workout, and can he still run? That was a big part of his game at this age.
Definitely can still run. Yep. Scott Tolzien threw him a good go ball, and it was really good. So went back to their 2017 days. Yeah, Sky's gonna be with Britt for the rest of the week. Trying to ice it up, but we'll be okay.
You want to bring one of the quarterbacks in to throw to?
We got a few around here.
You didn't want to throw it to him?
No, I was good. Yeah.
Why is wide receiver depth a thing when you got a year 7 now on the 53 when you include Turpin in that mix?
Yeah, certainly. I think as you view this thing as this push through December and into January, the availability for guys is obviously going to be smaller and smaller, and so for us to have a guy like Ty available, and he can come in here and he's going to be able to deal with the transition that it would take, this late into a season. I think he's a veteran, he knows the ball, he's really really smart, and so to have a guy like that, he'll be able to handle the transition, really really well and provide some depth, and we'll see where all the roles kind of transpire as the season goes on.
What did they do with their run defense? The first drive you had 55 yards on the ground, and then the rest of the game I think it was 80.
Yeah. The first and second down, really that told quite the story. I think our efficiency, the way we rated it, was 44% on first down, and that tells you the story that correlates to second and third down. And the line movement, certainly, they did a tremendous job. We know Malik Collins, when he played here for us, and he's a really, really good three technique, and when he gets moving and he gains leverage, he's really, really talented in there, and I thought he did a tremendous job. He had a number of tackles for losses and, disrupted us a lot.
Kind of following up on that, just like I said, I think it was 55 of the 76 yards you had in that opening drive, or 75 on the ground. Then you seemed to get away from it a little bit. Was that because of the negative runs on first and second, just kind of took you out of it? But then you start the third and you come back and you run 9 straight times.
Yeah.
Is that just to kind of, can you take us through that? Is that what happened? Then you just want to reinforce, well, we need to get the balance back? Or
Certainly, I felt like, just the inefficient runs after that first drive, we just weren't able to get those rush attempts so we can keep the game in balance as far as run pass on first and second down. We were into, having maybe a couple negative or 0-yard gains there. And so looking at it from the halftime perspective, we had a 2-minute drill in there. You had a lot of passing attempts and probably less rush attempts than you had anticipated. And so when we got the turnover that first drive of the second half, really wanted to finish it off with a run and reestablish that thing. They had been able to kind of sit and shell for a little bit and felt like we need to run it and kind of get this thing back into a 1 high, 2 high battle with this defense. If you could let them just sit in 2 high, it's going to be tough to throw the ball. And so we weren't able to finish it, but I felt like we were at least able to get a few runs in that drive that gave us some positives.
Mike talked about vision defenses after the game. You've gone the last 2 weeks. What's the biggest challenge those present, and do you expect more of it as the season winds down?
It's certainly a copycat league. If you don't address the things that come up when maybe you don't have as much success as you would hope, those things are obviously going to be potentially repeated. And so that's the ebbs and flows of a season. Vision defense, playing with eyes on the QB. We've had a couple turnovers, kind of opportunities to keep the ball in front of you maybe at times to avoid the big plays. And so Indy with Gus Bradley and obviously Lovie Smith, they've done a tremendous job over the years of playing a vision type defense, and maybe 1 high and 2 high different versions, but those are things that we just have to see, find a better answer for it, do a better job against those things, because you'll see them throughout the rest of the season, and once you kind of find your way there, then something else will pop up. So
does it test the quarterback's patience, and how do you think Dak's dealt with that?
Certainly it'll test the quarterback's patience, but it'll also test your ability to run the football and be efficient on first down. And I think the efficiency of, it may be a 10, 11, 12 play drive, and you have to be efficient on first down, whether it's run or pass, and keep the defense in conflict and avoid the third and longs. And certainly it's a formula that, when you can win first down and second down, it provides you a really, really good opportunity.
Certainly not to minimize, but just the nature of the position. Late in the year, when you have a player who hadn't been a part of your system, it's a little easier to incorporate a wide receiver than a lot of other positions, because you can limit the packages and just put them in certain situations that will just work more so than
I think that's a really fair assessment. Offensive linemen, those guys got to work together, and there's a lot of calls and communication. I think a receiver does at least have a little bit more of a one-on-one role at times, and you can certainly create packages that allow those guys to be a part of a package maybe sooner than a guy coming off the street, so to speak, and having to play right guard and have a center and tackle next to them that they're dependent on.
Is that how you'll work it with T.Y.? You'll just kind of see what he does best, and let's do these packages here and grow it from there? Yeah,
just get him acclimated into the system and kind of see where he's at. And, I think for any guy who comes in, you're always trying to find, okay, where's the cross language? How can we kind of tie this thing together? We've all been in different systems, and we can find some language associations and just kind of see where that takes us and then find a role.
Are you guys still a numbers-based system, or is it kind of morphed into numbers and mores?
It's morphed over time, probably a little bit less numbers, but it's certainly a system that's been here that a lot of us are aware of, and so words are words. It's like speaking a foreign language. Once you figure out what language they've spoke most recently or they're most comfortable with, then you just kind of start saying this word's that, and you go from there.
All right. Thanks,
All
Kellen.
right, thanks guys.